Hi everyone, I'm Jody Hand. I'm go by Mrs. Hand Painted, and if you're joining me here for the first time, make sure you follow me on Instagram, Mrs. Hand Painted, so you can see some of my artwork and find out the latest on news tutorials and Skillshare classes I'll be having. And in today's video, we'll be painting some wood slices. And many you've seen these are pretty trendy on Pinterest, but a lot of people are taking these little wood slices and painting them. So instead of painting on the wood slice, we're going to be painting the wood slice itself. And it's really easy, and I'll show you step by step how you can paint it too with just a few colors. And it's really kind of foolproof, and you can make it over and over, and every single one will be different, just like a snowflake. So have fun painting this. I think that'll be really great for some of the upcoming holidays in this fall and winter, and you can really customize it for anything, adding flowers to it or Christmas decorations or fall leaves. They're really, really versatile and neutral that you can put into any kind of piece, like a wreath or anything you can think of really. So maybe I'll be sharing some examples of some suggestions on my Instagram, so make sure you check that so that you can see some other ways you can incorporate wood slices into your artwork. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, we're going to be painting a really simple little wood slice here, and I've got, these are some actual little wood slices that I bought that are pre-drilled for ornaments. I'm just using those as kind of my reference, and I painted one already as a little test run here. And I'm going to be using my Princeton Neptune round 8. You could use any kind of small or medium-sized brush if you want, but for the main part you'll want to use a little bit of a larger round just to do that main circle wash. And I'm going to start out by just making a circle shape, and we don't need to be perfectly circle. If you want to trace something that's circle shaped, go ahead, but as you can see here, it comes out oblong. We want to make this look more natural. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and lay down a wash here. So I'm just going to make myself a little circle with some water. And I'm going to mix together for the middle a little bit of yellow ochre and some transparent brown oxide. So I just kind of going to get more of a yellowy brown. If you have something in your paints that is more of a yellowy brown, then go ahead and just use that color. I'm just going to lay down an even wash. Well, it really doesn't even need to be even. Just kind of give yourself a nice circle shape. Does not need to be perfect. You could even give it some little bumped out areas if you wanted to. All right, so now we're gonna, while this is still wet, just realized my water line went out a little further. I'm going to take this darker brown. So I'm going to go back to my transparent brown oxide just by itself. Get some of that there. And just very lightly, just with the tip of your brush, just kind of let that go around the edge. And if you're getting more than you want, you can always just lift that or wait for it to dry a little bit more so that it doesn't bleed in. This is really just a personal preference here, but that kind of gives you, when you see here, you get these like brown areas like this where it has more of a bark area. That just kind of gives us a little bit more of that. And I like how it just, I'm letting the watercolor just do what it wants. All right, so in my test sample here then too, I also went around this edge here and I just kind of dabbed in some areas to make it a little bit wider in some areas for the brown. Just to give a little more bark. So you can just kind of randomly go around and just make it a little wider with that brown, that darker brown. Alright, now I'm going to let that part dry and we will go in and add our layers over the top. So make sure you want to keep some of that yellow-brown mixture that you mixed up on your palette, because we'll just take the same color and we'll just go over the top of that. So I'm going to dry this really quick so we can move to the next step. Alright, so like I said, I'm going to go ahead over this with the second layer of this yellowy brown color. I don't want to have too much water on my brush when I do this, so I'm just going to just go around in lines. They don't have to be evenly spaced. In fact, you'll notice that with my natural wood slices here, they go really thin, really close together, and then you have a wider band. So this wash is actually going to be that background color, and we're going to be doing these darker lines over the top. And then you can add in a little bit of gray as you get to the center, maybe mix up your browns a tiny bit more if you got some other browns. So I'm just going to go around with that same color, and you can make them a little bit thicker or thinner, because if you look on our real life sample here, some of these, it goes thin on this side and thick on this side, so you can be oblong. Like here, I just kind of tried to follow along where it got really thin here and then it went bigger. So there's just a lot of different reference pictures you can find. Just look up wood slices and you can get lots of pictures. So I'm just going to go around. Some of these are going to be darker. They don't need to be perfectly circle. You can make bigger spaces as you go. And then the center always is this dot of where the new rings are forming on the tree. So in the middle there, I want that to be a little bit darker. All right, so I'm actually just gonna, I think that's a little bit of sepia, maybe some neutral tint, I'm not really sure, but just a really dark brown or a little bit of gray. I'm just gonna dab that in while it's still wet. And then just gonna take my darker brown color here and just barely touching the edge of some of these that are still a little wet. Because like here it goes a very dark edge and it fades in. So I'm just gonna go on the outside edge a little bit where it's still wet and just kind of add those little accentuating lines there. Not gonna go all the way around with it. Here you can see there's a little dark period and then it goes light again. You know, just it varies up. So this is just a fun way to do this. Okay, and if you get that where it's a little bit more harsh of a line than you want, you can take your brush, clean it off, and then wipe off some of the excess water, and you can just kind of smudge that in a little bit just to blend it a little bit more. If you get some maybe where you didn't have the wet paint when you were trying to blend it in there and it didn't bleed in and give you that fuzzy look you were looking for. So here I'm just going to just try to lightly blend some of those, make them a little less harsh. And even if you wanted to just go a little bit more over with maybe a little more watered down of your brown, just to kind of make some more dark areas. And just give it a little more shading. There we go. There is a little watercolor wood slice, and I think these would be fun for fall and Christmas that's coming up. So maybe or maybe just putting flowers around them. We could do some little flower details around it. Maybe that would be fun to add some little flowers or something. I don't know. We could do any kind of decoration, really. That would be fun. I'll just do something like that really quick. Just using some leftover paint here. Ooh, that was not enough water. And just do some fun little things like that, and you can make a little card or put them in a little wreath or something. That would be fun to do too. So have fun painting that wood slice with me, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, make sure you do that. I don't want you to miss out on any upcoming tutorials that I'll be adding.